Hello everyone, my name is Dhruv. I'm an intern at Lexis and Company, and today in this video we would be discussing about dying declaration, meaning of dying declaration and various concepts under dying declaration. So what does dying declaration means? And if we talk about some Latin terms, so it means letterum mortem, which says that words which are said before death. So a dying declaration is a piece of evidence and it is a statement of a person which is made before his death relating to cause of his death or under the circumstances of the transaction resulting in his death. Now if we take an example and says that A shoots B and run away. Now B which cries in pain and C on hearing B's pain reaches where B is lying wounded within a pool of blood. Now B tells C that A has shot me with a bullet and B then dies. Now later C comes to give the evidence of B's statement. So here B's statement to C will be relevant as dying declaration, as B told him that this and this was happened with him. So it is a matter of dying declaration. Now we can also learn dying declaration by the basics of concepts. So conceptual basis says that we have a Latin maxim under this which says that nemo mortuus presumitur mentire, which says that a man not meeting his maker with a lie in his mouth. So a person who is about to die would not lie, as truth sits on his head and on the person who is about to die. And another thing is that necessity. So in cases where the victim is the sole eyewitness of the happened crime, excluding his statement after death would cause absolute justice. So we also have difference between dying declaration, as we can consider two laws which can be Indian law or English law. So talking about Indian law, so on the conceptual basis there are two folds under Indian law. The first says that truth sits on dying person's lips, and the second says that necessity, as we just now discussed, that it is necessary to consider dead man's statement as he was the sole witness of the cause of his death. So as everyone knows what happened with them to and which make them suffer the death. So on the basis of English law and conceptual law, so only basis to consider dying declaration as relevant is that the truth sits on the dying person's lips, and under English law we do not believe in necessity. So dying declaration under Indian law with second point says that person making the statements need not to be in exception of the immediate death. It is not necessary that the person will die immediately, but yes, the statement making doesn't an exception. So under the English law it says that person making the statement must be in exception of immediate death. He should be dying immediately, or he knows that he will be dying. So and both in Indian law and English law, civil and criminal proceedings are relevant, whereas there is an addition to it in English law. This is that relevant only in the cases of homicides. They do not proceed criminal proceedings in all the cases, but only in some relevant homicides. Now we also as we are talking about dying declaration, so everything has some essentials, and considering the law of dying declaration, it also has some essentials to be fulfilled. So which says that statement of dead person, which can be either written or oral or by signs or gestures, as it was found in the case law which can be stated by Queen Empress versus Abdullah. So in this case it was stated that a dying person can give his statement as a form of dying declaration in any of the language, or in any of the communication form, which can be written, oral, by signs, or by gestures, or anything else. Now the second essential is that dying declaration can be only considered of the statement which is made before death, and third would be that such persons or may not be an exception of death. Now, statement that relates to a cause of death of such person or the circumstances of transaction which resulted in his death are said to be dying declaration. So this was also stated in Pakala Narayan Swamy case, which was a landmark case with helping with the dying declaration. Now, third would be that such person must die to such cause, which is further stated in Kapoor Singh Rana case. And the fourth would be that such statement shall be relevant in any proceeding where the cause of death of such person comes into question. So where there is a cause of death coming into the proceeding, then we can then we have the absolute use of dying declaration. And the last would be that nature of proceeding, it may be civil or criminal, and which is under Indian law. Now, talking about dying declaration, there is also a very important concept which says evidentiary value. So dying declaration is an example to the rule of exclusion of hearsay evidence, and dying declaration is a substantive piece of evidence. It is not the whole and sole evidence, it is just a piece of evidence, and it can form the sole basis of conviction of an accused. However, now evidentiary value of dying declaration largely depends on the circumstances of each case and the manner in which the dying declaration is recorded. Now, the manner of dying declaration recording plays a crucial role here, and since veracity of dying declaration cannot be tested by cross examination, the court must seek for corroborative evidence, although it's not a strict rule, but yes, it should be there. So at last we would have some guidelines, some best dying declaration guidelines, which can form the sole basis of conviction, and it is very important for this to discuss. So the declarant must be in fit state of orientation and disposition, which should be certified by doctor, and there are many case laws on it also. Now the declaration must be in writing, and I am talking about guidelines only. They are not hard and fast rules, just some best of the guidelines. And the declaration must be recorded in the language in which it is made. If not, it should be accompanied by a translator, or it should be translated before proceeding in the court. Now declaration must be recorded in the question answer form, and declaration must be signed by the declarant. Declaration must be of properly dated and time. It should not be ante-timed, which means it should not be of the back date. And declaration must be complete, as incomplete declaration is of no use. Now it must be voluntary and not be tutored. That tutored here means that one should not dictate a declaration to a declarant. It should be voluntary by his own wills and his own opinions. And declaration must be clear and not ambiguous. It must be inherently coherent and must relate to the death of the declarant and of no other. It should only revolve around the declarant and the person who is going to be dead. So that's all for dying declaration. Thank you.